Hi, I'm Mike Morales with TequilaAficionado.com, part of Tequila Aficionado Media. You are watching Sipping Off the Cuff. And joining me from San Antonio over at his place is...
Rick Levy in San Diego.
Rick Levy in San Diego. Okay, boys and girls, we have something really, really special for you. And I thought I'd play some atmospheric music just for a little while. See if we can hear it. Can we hear this?
Yeah. El Rey de Acordeon.
What do we have tonight, Rick, that we're playing old-style norteño banda music?
We have Tragos Amargos.
Tragos Amargos, that's the name of that song.
That's
Tragos
right.
Amargos. I don't know, first of all, I want to say that I don't know if I ever really wanted to name my tequila after a the literal translation is bitter drink. Now, technically speaking, if this is endorsed by Ramon Ayala, he's this legend norteño music. I think he's been around for what, Rick, 40 years, something crazy like that in the music business?
At least. And if you're in their target market for this product, you definitely know who he is.
Yeah, their target market is Don Julio. I mean, you know, we got some really neat information from the folks at Tragos Amargos, the Three Crown importers folks. I think they said, I looked at this stuff and I started reading it, Rick, and I said, this is TMI. This is more information that I really, really need, you know, and we'll get to some of that.
Some of it was interesting. I didn't really need the Twitter analysis, but
yeah, why did they send us the Twitter analysis? But I will tell you, funny story. Okay, they are shooting at the folks who like Don Julio, but I thought it was really interesting. You know, Lisa Peach, your sister, does our social media for Tequila Aficionado and several other clients, and she looked at this and she said, you know, they're skewing the information that they're getting, I guess, to maybe they're looking for investors or just to impress. I don't know. So I thought I'd put some of that information to the test. All right. They said, you know, they gave us the Twitter hashtags and you know, there are more if you compare the name of Ramon Ayala versus Don Julio, he wins by a long shot. And I thought, why didn't you go with Patron? Why didn't you go hashtag Patron or something, you know, or any other, or Cuervo, right? So just for kicks and giggles, that picture that you took that I downloaded and we uploaded to Instagram, I hashtagged it just for kicks and giggles. I hashtagged it Ramon Ayala. Do you know that there are 55,000 hashtags with that hashtag on it? There are 55, in other words, 55,000 posts with his name on it. I thought they were kidding.
I believe it. You know, he's an institution. He's a musical legend in, you know, Mexico and the Southwest U.S.
Yeah, they even give us. I thought it was really interesting when they gave the marketing overview. They told us why Ramon Ayala. I mean, they really, you know, and at first, like I said, I thought this was too much information, or you know, that some of the statistics are a little bit questionable in my opinion. But you know, when you look at hashtags and you look at the you know, the 40 plus years he has in the music industry plus all the awards, you know, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, in a weird kind
well,
of...
and it's, I don't know, to me, I work, you know, my full-time gig is working on the web, and I have to do a lot of analytics. And to me, that almost kind of seems like apples to apples.
Yeah.
You know, because most of those hashtags for Ramon Ayala are going to be about music.
Exactly.
It's not going to be about tequila.
No, but so, I mean, but that was the point. Is you know, when you get a celebrity to endorse your tequila, you know, and whether you're Sammy Hagar or you're you know, George Clooney, you know, you hashtag Clooney, and you're not going to get all the Casamigos. You're going to get all his movies and all his awards. And, you know, if you hashtag Casamigos, you know, versus him, you know what I mean? It just helps.
Yeah.
It dovetail. It helps impulse or propel the brand forward. But you can see that the packaging is rather simple. There's not a whole lot going on there.
I think it's, you know, it feels very smart to me. It has, you know, it has nice, smart lines. That the artwork is nice. I really like the stoppers.
Yeah, the stoppers are really cool.
You know, there's sort of a metal, you know, etched.
Yeah, it's like a coin.
Embedded
it's like an inset, like a metal inset on the cork on the.
You know, it's like sandblasted and relief, and you know, the stoppers, the tops are natural wood and
Yes.
you know, varnished and stained different colors, and so
Well,
you know, packaging is very attractive and smart.
what do
know?
you think? You think Brandon promised just right off the bat with the packaging? I'm not, like I say, I'm not a big fan of the name, but I get, you know, once you've read the marketing information, you
Yeah.
get the idea of where they were headed with this.
Well, you know, there's one of his big songs is, you know, Tragos Amargos.
It's a classic. It's the one we
and
were playing in.
he and Ramon translates it as bitter shots.
Yeah, bitter shots, bitter drinks, bitter sips. And it's
And
one of those, it's
A lot of
basically.
the marketing, a lot of the marketing. You know, I went on social media. I was looking at their social media marketing, and they use him as the front man quite a bit.
Right. Well, he's on the neck tag, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, you know.
and you know, he talks a lot about shots.
Yeah. Well,
And,
he's 40 years, you know, 40 years in the making. In, you know, tequila that they were drinking 40 years ago isn't as good as what we're drinking now.
Yeah,
Although
the
I
craft
will
has come
say,
a long way.
yeah, I mean it's better for you. It's not, you know, we've, as far as I'm concerned, we stopped really doing shots 8 to 10 years ago, you know. But it's just interesting that this is kind of a throwback, at least the name. I will say, we were talking about the packaging. I will say that you must be careful with the banging and clanging, because you'll see that they're kind of beveled and etched at the bottom, but you have a tendency to chip. You might see an occasional chip if they knock against each other on the shelf. Be real careful, folks, because this kind of faceting, when it chips, it's pretty sharp. And I've over the years, I've cut myself more than once reaching for a bottle that's been etched or beveled like that. So it might be something you want to watch out for. Be careful when you pull it off the shelf. Make sure it's not cracked or broken. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to leak or anything, but still, you know, just it's something to be aware of. Now, this is an award winner. Also, they won at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. What are we looking at? Was it this year? Yep, this year they won a silver medal for the añejo, and the Blanco that we're going to try tonight. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and open mine, and we're going to pour it. The Blanco won a gold medal. So gold medal winner, folks, for this year at San Francisco that happened in February. It's good agave nose. At least from what I can smell right now. We're using the Riedel glasses for tonight.
I did the thing where I actually cracked the seals a few days ago in case it needed to aerate or oxidize.
Yeah, it's well, when these bottles came to Texas, they were, you know, they were at 95 degrees. Yeah, I got to let it sit for a couple of days before I can open it, you know,
Yeah.
because of all the heat and the alcohol out here in the desert Southwest, as they call it. Wow. You can see it's rather pristine. It's got nice legs and tiers. It's not too clingy. but not very runny either. Citrusy. I get a lot of citrus on that nose. I don't know. What are you getting? You're being strange. You're scaring me because you're being strangely quiet.
I'm getting isopropyl.
You think? Really? Wow.
You know, I can pick up the agave. It's definitely there.
Yeah, it's as a matter of fact, I don't think that it gives us on the information. It doesn't give us the actual gnome number, but and I can only really find it on the Blanco. It's 1173.
Distilleria Santa Lucia in Guadalajara.
Well, that's the home office. I'm, in fact, while we're at it,
They make a lot of tequilas there.
yeah, it comes out of a rather large maquiladora, that makes several brands for other folks. Not that that's a bad thing, because we've discussed, you and I have discussed,
El Destilador.
El Destilador. Now, but that's a great tequila, though. That is it's also a nice bottle too.
Pretty neat.
I don't smell, at least in my sample, I'm not getting the chemicals that you're getting. What I do get on the surface is I'm getting a lot of citrus notes. I'm not sure if that's, the flavor notes on the POS, on the point of sale material, are rather thin. It says it's triple distilled. And it's a funny thing, I've broken into mine as well, and I still get, at the very bottom, I still get alcohol.
I think the nose is probably better than when I first cracked the seal. Of course, that would be expected.
Yeah, a lot of these when we get them delivered, which is number one, that's why we ask for full samples, because you'd be surprised how many people try to send us minis, and you can't do it.
Yeah,
it's really funny. The big bottles,
too small a sample to recover from some of the stuff it goes through in shipping.
It's rare that we have any breakage in full bottles, but honestly, minis always get compromised, and so we actually refuse them because you just can't. There's a myriad of reasons why we don't take minis. Somebody tries to send us minis from the old distillery, and they don't send us the actual current lot of tequilas. There's all kinds of reasons. It leaks, it dissipates the heat. Yeah. All kinds of things. So that's
why if you have the full bottle branded and sealed, then you're getting what people would be getting off the shelf, which is of course why we're here.
Yeah, and the same thing. So depending on how we get it delivered, we have to let it sit, and sometimes it doesn't even settle down until we actually open it a few days before we actually do any of the tastings. I like this nose, man. I really do.
These are supposed to be 8-year-old Highlands agaves.
Okay, well, let's see what they taste like. Wow. Wow, it's got an in-your-face kind of agave punch to it. But, I mean, the retronasal goes right up your nose. It's sharp. It's a sharp retronasal.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, if you don't.
Would you go as far to say fuerte?
Sí, yeah, it's fuerte, and it's only 80 proof. I mean, you normally don't get some that kind of a retronasal or that kind of an effect unless you have it at a much higher ABV. So this is I mean, it's distilled to come across as a real punch, and it's got a medium to long finish too, Rick.
Did you get any burn going down? How was it going down?
Well, yeah, it's like I said, it felt intense. There was some intensity there, and not a white pepper intensity. It's I don't even know how to place it. It's just it's a strong, hard finish at the back of your palate that when you do your retronasal, if you're not careful, it's almost like when you get like a soda that comes up your nose, you know, that it kind of catches you off guard.
Mm.
And again, not that that's a bad thing. It's in your face. It really is an in your face.
It has machismo.
Yeah, and again, I don't know how much involved Ramon Ayala has been with the choosing of the flavor profile and that kind of thing. I don't know if he's an investor, if he's just the face. I don't know. But if he has anything to do with the flavor profile, this makes a lot of sense because 40 years ago we were shooting stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it was even harsher.
Old school.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but old school in kind of the the Mexican cinema kind of way, you know. I don't think it's for everybody. I can see where San Francisco gave it a gold medal. It's probably not it doesn't have the finesse that some tequilas at a higher ABV have, like a Tapatio, for instance.
Yeah. And I would say if you're someone who is really into, you know, the whole craft tequila movement, this may not have the kind of things that you're used to.
Yeah.
You know, I think characterizing it as, you know, old school machismo fuerte.
Yeah.
Is
I think you're right on. I think you're right on.
It's taking a while for me to find the various aromatics that, you know, we're used to pulling out of some other tequilas. You know, you get the agave. Well, but then I wonder how much, you know, this nom does pretty much everything with autoclave and stainless stills. Their fermentation is in stainless tanks. And so I'm wondering if part of it is just, you know, the speed of production.
Could be. Could be that they're doing something interesting with the distillation that we're not aware of, because it is a really an in-your-face tequila, and I don't even want to say in a craft tequila kind of way. This you want to drink this stuff while you're listening to Ramon Ayala. You can find this song on YouTube. Believe it or not, it has over 6 million views. Just this song alone. It's not a video, it's just the song and his picture. Okay? And the funny thing was, you should read some of the responses on YouTube. They're hysterical. Did you read the one that says, when this song comes on, it's time to go ask your tío for some money? I think the responses are hysterical. One person said, I don't know what it says because I don't understand Spanish, but I'm crying to it. So, you know, if I were to make a recommendation, you know, this is something that, you know, maybe some hardcore Hispanics and Latinos who have grown up with Ramon Ayala, and that's what the POS says. They really have not lied. I thought, you know, that they skewed some of the statistics were a little iffy, but their method to their madness makes sense.
Well, they've certainly put a lot of thought into their target demographic.
Yeah.
And it seems like they understand that market. And, you know, if this is what they're going for, then, you know, I think they have a shot at succeeding.
Well, yeah.
I will say, I'll make a recommendation for what to pair this with.
Okay, let's hear it.
Sangrita.
Ah. You are more Hispanic than I thought you were. Rick is a Latino. Oh my God. That, that's a great suggestion. It is. I will totally agree. I personally, I agree with you. It may not be brand of promise material. However, I think like you're correct. Yeah, I think it's a great accompaniment with Sangrita, with Ramon's music, and if their target market is Don Julio, they may just be able to take a bite out of that market.
Yeah, and the association with Ramon, it sounds like good times.
Yeah, it's a good time tequila. You definitely want to, as a triple distilled. I'm surprised it's still as strong as it is. The recommendation is on the POS is to pour it in a margarita. You won't lose it in any cocktail.
Yeah, but they recommend mixed drinks, rocks or frozen. Even I think it was the Reposado and the Añejo. They were saying, pour it over the rocks.
Yeah, and as we go through the other varietals, we'll discuss how we would pair them. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a well worth looking for. And again, don't take our word for it. This sucker is a gold medal winner. But if you're expecting something with a little bit more finesse, you will not find it. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is música de Ramón Ayala. Okay.
Yes.
This is music that you want to ask your tío for money for. All right.
I would certainly say that, but this and Sangrita with Ramon Ayala and do some shots.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're still shooting tequila, this is the tequila for you. All right, because for me, jam over, man. I'm not doing it that way, but again, very well worth looking for. That's our take on Tragos Amargos. Stick with us. We'll be right back doing tasting the Reposado and Añejo. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And you've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead, click on that red button. You'll be really happy. And then go look for Ramon Ayala. Go put that on your playlist at YouTube. And you may love it. Tell us, do shots. Tell us what you think. Give us your comments. We're open to everything. And as we like to say in Spanish, it's
it doesn't really fit.
Yeah, we want to say what do we say in Spanish? Sip wisely.